Hello, my lovely angels. This is your girl Sim back with another episode of the Sim Squad. So, this is part 2 of the Genesis collection by French Avenue. If you've not seen the part 1 already, please go and see it. This is part 2, which is going to cover all the perfumes that I was going systematically. So, it started with Aries, and now today I'm going to start with Libra. The box is like massive and heavy. So that's the collection. Wow. That's just gorgeous. Okay. I rarely get super excited about any of the perfumes I receive, like especially off late. Like I know I've been receiving a lot of perfumes, so it's not easy to like get fascinated or absolutely obsessed with anything. So today we're gonna start with Libra. So while I was filming part 1, I figured out the gemstones on these bottles are not actually the gemstones. They're the feeling this perfume invokes, and that's absolutely right. Because Libra, that's the bottle, has a pink stud, and that's exactly how I feel the Libra perfume smells like. This is an oriental floral, which is supposed to be inspired by Carmina by Creed, but I can't stress enough that the inspirations are probably 60% with a 40% twist. So they remind you of that perfume, but they're not exactly like that. This one, for example, has top notes of pink pepper, cherry and saffron, heart notes of rose and violet, and in the base you have musk, myrrh, ambergris and incense. Let me tell you a little bit about the Libras as well, what's mentioned on the internet. I've got all these details from the internet. If you want to know what I think, I had made a zodiac signs. I'll try to put a link for you guys, yeah? By the way, I need to make an updated one for that too. So the Libras are preachers of harmony, sentimental yet rational, and justice equalizers. The element is air, modality is cardinal, and the ruling planet is Venus, just like the Taurus. The pink gemstone, and their gemstone by the way is rose quartz, so it kind of like also makes sense with the pink being for the rose quartz. Now when I initially smelled this, I was like, this smells like rose syrup, namely Roux Afza, but it smells of Roux Afza, which is like your rose syrup mixed with a little bit of milk and a little bit of candy as well. So I know you're like confused. Okay, so the musk is very musky in this. It's like that white musk, which is heavy. So it gives you that lactonic note, but it's not really milk. I'm just trying to explain that the rose syrup is not rose syrup in water. It smells like rose syrup in like a milk or milk alternative. So it opens with your pink pepper note, with your saffron and your cherry. But the cherry is there, but not in a heavy way. The rose is the prominent note, I feel. See, all these perfumes, I'm so glad that I made this video after trying the perfumes again and again, because they're changing over time. There's nothing tart at all in the opening. Even the cherry, it smells like a dark boozy cherry. And then you have your pink pepper and saffron. And then you have rose and violet. This is the part where I feel the rose petals are almost candied, and these are all mixed together, all these notes. But the candied rose is like the main ingredient in this entire concoction. It smells very soft, classic and almost vintage-like, and I like that. It's not smelling too vintage, and it's definitely not smelling like makeup, because this combination along with like the Oris powder, like it can get a bit vintage leaning, which would smell like your Revlon makeup or something, but this is not going there at all. In the base you have musk, myrrh, ambergris and incense. So it does get slightly incensey, but don't feel like it'll get overpowering. And even the myrrh in the dry down, it's adding a little bit of mystery and romance, but it's not getting dark and goth or something like that. I guess it's because of the ambergris, because ambergris is keeping things fresh in the base. And the mix, like normally to think of these notes, like ambergris mixed with incense itself is like what, you know? Then ambergris mixed with your myrrh, I'm like, you know, but it's somehow working in this, and it's keeping it very airy and romantic. This is unisex leaning feminine. Daytime, I would say, for fall winter. No Middle Eastern vibe, although it's very rose heavy and saffron heavy. The projection is 2 to 3 feet and the longevity is 7 to 8 hours. My rating for this, 9 out of 10. I usually don't like rose heavy perfumes, but somehow, and especially if they're leaning rose syrup, but there is enough balance of that ambergris, incense and myrrh in the dry down that's keeping things light. The celebrity I chose for this is Halsey. Again, for lack of better option, just tell me if you know any Libra which would perfectly suit a DNA like this. The color perception is a rosy mauve. The temperature for this is cool, I would say, and the presence is bold. Next we have Genesis Scorpio, which is, by the way, my husband's sign, my husband Ali, and that's a bottle. And it has a stud which is black, which is exactly opposite my zodiac sign. So I had like the white stud and Ali had got this almost obsidian looking stud. And guess what? The main gemstone, one of the main gemstones for Scorpio is obsidian. Now this one is supposed to be a woody, spicy vanilla, I would say. And it's supposed to smell similar to Jazz Club, not Angel Share, yeah? Jazz Club. There's a big difference. The top notes are pink pepper, neroli, lemon and davana. The heart notes of rum, vetiver and clary sage. And in the base you have vanilla bean, tobacco and styrax. Little bit about the Scorpios. They are challenge takers, elusive and mysterious and passionate lovers. The element is water, modality is fixed and their ruling planet is Mars and Pluto. It almost smells like you lit up a matchstick. Okay, that's probably not sounding right, or gunpowder. I'm just kidding. It's actually like that. It's literally like a spark, but it's like a dark spark. It opens with this very prominent pink pepper, but you have like a little bit of that lemon and you have your neroli and very herbaceous davana. It's almost dark seductive. It's dark, I don't know how to explain this, but it's like dark seductive. That's the best word I can use over here without being offensive or weird, you know. That lemon is quite fresh. It's quite like bright, but because it has that pink pepper, davana, neroli combination, somehow the whole perfume is becoming dark because that pink pepper is quite prominent. And then very quickly you start smelling the booziness, the rum with vetiver and your little bit of aromatic of clary sage. So the perfume starts changing very quickly from that opening, which had at least a little bit of that freshness of lemon, to a very mysterious, dark, you literally imagine a dark room, a den or something. It smells very deep, very masculine, but very, very mysterious. All these notes together, they're somehow making the perfume smell quite mysterious. And of course the base also like pushes things in that direction, because you have your vanilla bean, which adds a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of creaminess, but you have your tobacco and styrax, again very, very prominently resinous and dark resinous. And then you have your tobacco note, which is also quite prominent. The two notes that are most prominent to me in this are pink pepper and tobacco. And then you have like a little bit of booziness, a little bit of smokiness and a tad bit of aromatics. So you have your animalic notes, you have your balsams, you have your incense, little bit of, not incense, a little bit of smoky notes, you have spices, all of them making this perfume smell so mysterious and alluring. It's like a dark seduction, I'm telling you. This is a 10 out of 10. It's gorgeous. Masculine for sure, but I consider this perfume to be unisex because I know I can pull this off. So unisex leaning masculine, I would say evening wear, fall, winter. There is some kind of Middle Eastern vibe to it, so I would say a mild Middle Eastern vibe. The projection is around 2 to 3 feet and the longevity is 8 hours. The celebrity I chose for this, because I tried to choose all women for these perfumes, except for Idris Elba, which was in the previous video, but I chose Gwendolyn Christie. I think her personality, everything about her, there's something very seductive but very strangely mysterious as well. The color perception, oxblood noir. The temperature is warm and the presence is bold. Next we have Sagittarius. So this was the only, actually no, in the last video I thought Gemini kind of did not make sense for a Gemini. And in this set, I feel Sagittarius did not make sense to me for a Sagittarius, okay? So that's Sagittarius. And the stone for this is like a very, like a cobalt blue kind of, is it blue or purple? I think it's a blue. It's like a cobalt blue. And this is a very floral perfume. So I was like, okay, yeah, Sagittarius, they're fun-loving, they're very adventurous, they're very outgoing, social. But when I smelled this perfume, I was like, dude, this smells very, very vintage. It does not smell up to date or what do you call it, like it's not adventurous. Like adventurous would be sunshine, grass, earth, like probably all the elements together, right? But this is going very, very earthy. This is like floral earthy. Top notes are cherry blossom, middle notes of heliotrope and iris, and the base is musk. So you know clearly why I don't like this perfume. Iris is a note that can go wrong for me very, very quickly. In this, although I like it, it's very, very pretty, but it's just too much. It's just like, I don't know, like maybe that's why it's Sagittarius. Sometimes they can be a little bit too much, because they are very unfiltered and everything. A little bit about Sagittarius. They're free-spirited adventurers, wise and knowledgeable, and unbound exploration. So see, this is exactly what I was saying as well. I thought it'll be like a more outgoing, not outgoing, outdoorsy perfume, right? It'll be more of solar, mixed with little florals, fruity, and then you have like a little bit of vegetal notes and a slight bit of earthiness. This is what I thought Sagittarius would smell like. Instead, what we got is a very, very cherry blossom heavy perfume. It almost smells lotion-like, vintage lotion, that too. It's kind of like a bit like old school. Not even vintage. I would call this like old school. Initially, although it's very heady, it starts changing a little bit. You start feeling like airy, like almost like those cherry blossoms going in the air everywhere. And then you get your heliotrope and iris, and that's where everything like. And in the base, to round it all up, you have your musk. So I really wish there was some earthiness or some citrus or something there to I will say, however, it's a very clean, cozy scent. I would preferably want to wear this during fall. I would not even wear this in spring. This is a very fall fragrance. I feel like when the leaves start falling and everything, initially, that's when you should wear this. The funny thing is that I keep trying to smell this perfume. There's something about it that you want to smell it. So if you like iris perfumes, you're going to like this one. The two main notes on this are cherry blossom and iris, and the supporting notes of heliotrope and musk. This is a super feminine fragrance, by the way. No Middle Eastern vibe, projection is 2 to 3 feet, and the longevity is definitely 8 hours. This stuff doesn't get out of your skin. Oh yeah, so this was the only perfume I gave a 7 out of 10. I actually thought all of them were brilliant. This again is very nice for people. Again, please don't get offended. I keep mentioning this again and again because I do feel some people still are like, oh, I don't like your reviews and everything because you don't like this. But your choice, that's what makes us all beautiful. That's what all makes us unique with our choices in perfumes, music, food, everything, right? So appreciate people's differences and accept it, yeah? And the celebrity I chose for this is Scarlett Johansson. She has like a vintage edge about her, but also I don't know why. I feel like she would smell very, very floral. The color perception is literally cherry blossom. The temperature is neutral and the presence is very, very bold. Next, we have Capricorn, and I was quite interested to see how they would portray a Capricorn. This has a grey stone. A little bit about Capricorn. The responsible friend, dedicated and committed, and perseverant success seekers. The element is earth, the modality is cardinal, and the ruling planet is Saturn. And by the way, their stone also is smoky quartz. And this is supposed to be an oriental woody fragrance. The top notes for this are incense and smoke, heart notes of cistus, labdanum, fir balsam, and the base notes of benzoin, vanilla, dry amber, and gaiac wood. And it's supposed to smell similar to baby cat. So obviously Simin loved it. Oh my god, yes, I remember Capricorn was one of the perfumes I absolutely like. 10 out of 10, okay? Let me just spoil it for you. It's so beautiful. There's something about this perfume which is very alluring but very quiet, very also strict, like tough love kind of a thing. They say opening is incense and smoke, and it's absolutely right. Right from the get-go, you can smell this incense, and it's quite sweet, by the way. It's brooding, and you know why I absolutely like it? Because when we do bakhur on ourselves, especially those bakhurs that come like soaked in the sugar syrup, I don't know if you know about that, or sometimes there's sugar stuck on that. Guys, I know that that is super dangerous and it's toxic and blah blah blah, but you know what? We've used it for years and years. Maybe you should not use it, do your research. But this reminds me of that bakhur. It smells like bakhur, incense, and they have that right on the top. So although it does smell like baby cat to some extent, that bakhur smell is very Middle Eastern. Then in the heart you have labdanum and fir balsam. The labdanum, a little bit mimicking, it has a little bit of resins like amber. It's quite sweet again. It also has a little bit of animalic nature, like very, very mildly. So you might feel there's some sort of leather in this, or sweet, but it's not really that. That's a labdanum for you. It kind of smells cathedral-like, like that's the thing, because it has that incense. In the base, again, you have your vanilla, you have your benzoin, you have amber, you have your gaiac wood. Dry, almost, but very resinous, quite sweet. You can clearly smell your vanilla, you can clearly smell the amber. notes. It's very, very balsamic. Woody, but woody in a very, very smoky way. I really like this perfume. Oh my gosh, it's like one of the perfumes, like, you know, Incense 01 by Swiss Arabian. This doesn't smell similar at all. That's a very frankincense smoke. This is a very bakhur smoke, yeah? Two different ones. Refined, so refined. Refined luxury. This is one of my favorites in the lot. It's unisex, but it leads slightly masculine for people who are not very used to smoky Middle Eastern perfumes. I would say evening wear, fall, winter. Middle Eastern vibe is quite high in this. The projection is 2 to 3 feet and the longevity is 7 to 8 hours. The celebrity I chose for this, like, yeah, I said I will not choose men, but like somehow for certain perfumes. For this, I don't know why, but I chose Elvis Presley. I was like, dude, I don't know which celebrity to assign it to, you know. Ideally, it would be somebody Middle Eastern. I don't know any Middle Eastern person who fit that persona, that personality that I'm imagining for something that smells like this. The color perception for this is an ashen tan. The temperature is warm and the presence is quite bold. And then we have the Aquarius, which comes with a very blue stone. So I was hoping, or I assumed, that this is going to be marine. And you know, Aquarius and all. So Pisces and Aquarius, they have it rough. But yes, it is a blue perfume. It is literally a blue perfume. So this is supposed to smell similar to Blue Mar by Giardini di Toscana. I haven't smelled that perfume, so I don't know how it smells like. It's a woody oriental, but has very, very aquatic or marine notes. It opens with seaweed and pepper. Middle notes of ambergris and fir balsam. And then you have your base. Listen to this. Wood, styrax and oud. So it's a marine fragrance, but it's with oud. And I was like, initially when I smelled it, I was like, bro, it's too blue for me. But then it changed, and it changed very quickly. Within seconds it changes, right? And I'm like, am I smelling oud in this? Am I smelling like resins in this? It's quite like balsamic and very resinous. So a little bit about Aquarius. Unapologetically revolutionary, artistic and innovative, progressive humanitarians. Element is air, modality is fixed, and the ruling planet are Saturn and Uranus. Blue gemstone, and also kind of like, it's supposed to be amethyst, you know, but like I said, they're going for the vibe of the perfume and not for the gemstone. Now, opening, seaweed, pepper, ambergris, fir balsam. So slightly spicy with that pink pepper, just adding a little bit of interest, but then you have your marine notes of ambergris and seaweed along with the fir balsam, which is like giving you like this foresty little pine-like quality as well. But in your base, you have woody notes, you have styrax, and you have oud. And as the perfume dries on, somehow that opening of pepper, not pink pepper, sorry, was I saying pink pepper all this time? The opening of pepper is very brash. It's quite like hitting, right? So it cuts through everything, and the deeper it gets, the perfume, the more it settles down. You will smell the pepper more and more and more. Ultimately, what it dries down as, because this perfume changes pretty quickly, and finally you have like a very linear perfume that smells of like this ocean breeze along with your black pepper, your resinous styrax and your oud. It's very cool, it's very different. Like you can definitely feel it's somebody very quirky. They don't abide by social norms, or they're disruptors, you know. They don't want to be confined to social norms, or don't tell them do this because they're going to do the complete opposite of what you've asked them to do. I think it's a very beautiful fragrance. This is one of the fragrances which shocked me, because I was like, do perfumes like this really exist? Like I said in the opening, I was like, oh my gosh, a very blue perfume. And for me, blue perfume is like masculine, right? So far, as we are aware, I have not found any perfume that I cannot wear because it's too masculine. The only one perfume that I'm skeptical on wearing is the Sagittarius, right? This was one of the most interesting ones, unique. I would say definitely leans masculine, but it's unisex for sure, and I will be wearing this for fall winter, but I think I can pull this off during slightly cooler summer. Like it's not too hot, right? If it's in the 20s, I'll be wearing it. The Middle Eastern vibe in this is moderate. Projection I would say is like 2 to 3 feet, and the longevity is 8 hours. My rating for this is definitely a 10 out of 10. I really like it. It's so unique, just like an Aquarius. By the way, my moon sign is Aquarius, but my sun and rising are Cancer. So I'm a double Cancer with a Aquarius moon, which is why probably I'm not that sensitive, you know. The celebrity I chose for this is Christian Bale. So like quiet, but at the same time very different from everybody else. But he's very like, does things in his own way. He needs everything like in a very certain way, otherwise he's out. I would say the color for this is a deep celestial blue. The temperature is cool and the presence is bold, I would say. Actually, no, it's moderate. It depends. If you spray a few sprays, this will be moderate. If you overspray, it's definitely going to be a very bold fragrance. Last but not the least is Pisces, which I thought again would be a version of an aquatic fragrance because it's Pisces, and also because the stone on it, that's your bottle, the stone on it is like a sea green, or what do you call the stone? Aquamarine? Yeah. And this one shocked me. I was like, when I smelled it, because I went into it thinking that will be a very mellow fragrance. Instead, I got hit by margarita in my face. Like somebody literally threw margarita on my face. Let me tell you a little bit about this perfume. It's a woody, spicy perfume. Opens with the top notes of margarita, blackcurrant and cardamom, heart notes of ginger and juniper berry, and in the base you have patchouli, vetiver and tonka bean. It's supposed to smell kind of like Y by YSL, which is a very masculine fragrance. Now I will say that this to my nose, I feel it'll smell better on a man, but can I wear it? I might actually. I'd consider this to be a unisex leaning masculine fragrance. Little bit about the Pisces zodiac signs. They are humane, psychics and spiritualists, sensitive and empathetic, and meticulous observers. The element is water, the modality is mutable, and their planet is Neptune. The gemstone is supposed to be aquamarine, I think, but I'm not sure. It opens with a very fizzy margarita. It actually is reminding me of something that I drink or used to drink, but I can't put my finger on it. It smells like a mixture of, what does margarita? It has pineapple, right? Or what is it, just lemon? Because I can definitely smell some tropical fruits like pineapple, passion fruit and lemon, lime, bergamot kind of a thing. Although they've written over here just margarita, so I go figure. It almost smells like it's laced with salt as well, just like the margarita. And then you have your blackcurrant and cardamom. The cardamom over here is not like those other cardamom perfumes. This is just like a hint of cardamom to add a bit of freshness. You've not even put an entire pod of cardamom in this bottle, okay? It's like just maybe the seed, one seed, that's it. Then in the middle, you have ginger and juniper berry. They both are quite sharp, but this is where the perfume starts smelling warm and cool. The ginger is making it warm, juniper berry is making it cool, and in the complete dry down you have patchouli, vetiver and tonka bean. I don't really smell the tonka bean to be honest with you, but definitely vetiver and patchouli. It gets quite earthy. So that combination of fruits, you know, you would ask me, does it smell like oud maracuja? No, because it doesn't have oud, but it would, I would say this is the same genre of perfume where you have like a very fruity opening with a very dark earthy note or animalic note, or you know, one of those super dark kind of base, and in this the patchouli is hitting very, very hard. So you have a stark contrast of fruits, fresh fruits, very tropical ones, bubbly almost, and then you have this side which is like a very, very earthy side. However, the fruits and the effervescent nature of this perfume is 60% and everything else is around 40%. I feel this should have been Gemini. This doesn't smell like a Pisces to me. Maybe they should have switched the Gemini with the Pisces. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. If they would have given the Gemini perfume to the Pisces and the Pisces perfume to the Gemini, this would make sense, because this does not smell like humane, psychic, spiritualist, sensitive and empath. No, this smells like bubbly, out there, you know, yacht parties and drinks, you know, have fun, but also like it has like that grounding part which is just 40%, you know. So yeah, probably like switch zodiac signs, you know, Gemini to Pisces. Maybe they made a mistake, I don't know. Unisex, daytime, spring, summer. Actually, you can wear daytime during early fall as well. Rejection is insane. This one is like 3 to 4 feet. Longevity is like 8 hours for sure. My rating for this, I would say it's like an 8 out of 10. Initially, I gave it a 9, but it's bothering me. Somehow it's bothering me because it's too heavy fruity. The celebrity I chose for this is Camila Cabello. Exotic, fun. I think she's a Pisces. I kind of like went through the zodiac signs, you know, so I'm sure she's a Pisces. The color perception is definitely a light cyan. The temperature is cool and the presence is very, very bold. And that concludes my review of the entire collection as part 1 and this one as part 2. The only complaint I have is 3. Okay, actually it's 2. Sagittarius. which I don't feel justifies the Sagittarius adventurous nature, their fun side, their social side. Cherry blossom with iris and heliotrope doesn't make sense to me for a Sagittarius. That's a very calm, doesn't match any zodiac sign, to be honest with you. Instead, for a Sagittarius, it should have been sunshine combined with earthy greenness and everything, with some fun fruits and florals. You know, it should have been a very fun perfume. And the second problem I have is the switch between Pisces and Gemini. I feel Gemini should have been Pisces, Pisces should have been Gemini. The perfume for Pisces doesn't match its personality. It's very dual, which is very Gemini for you. And the Gemini is very, very grounding, very like earthy, spiritual, which should have been actually for Pisces. Take my opinion with a grain of salt. This is just what I think about the perfumes. If any of you have tried any of these perfumes, please let me know what you think about them. Which ones are your favorite? Because I had quite a bit of favorites from this, you know. And honestly, I do think that this collection is very good. I think I did mention somewhere that if somehow my entire collection was lost, I would probably start with this, because this kind of has everything for every season, for every occasion, and this will still cost me lesser than getting 10 perfumes or so, as long as it's for the price which I think it is in the UAE, which is 1,000 dirhams, which is just like $370, right? So for that, if I'm getting my 12 perfumes, although they're just 30 ml, I would still be happy with the choice. So great job, French Avenue, with these perfumes. It was a beautiful experience. It did like get me very, very excited, and I hope everybody who's watching also had fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.